So I think the first time that I did vote, this was during COVID. So I believe this was the federal elections. I'm forgetting the year, but I missed the municipal election. So yeah, this was my first elections that I was voting for. It was during COVID, so it was kind of like a weird time. But I do remember like us getting in the mail that it's time for me to vote, and I went with my parents. I'm the eldest, so I was the first child to vote. So I was excited about that, and I was really confused about the whole process. Like I remember I was getting mailed something, but I was never really taught the entire process of like what it is, how do you vote. So I remember my mom going through it with me, and then when we entered the polling station, when I was about to leave, I remember one of the election workers, she asked me, like, is this your first time voting? Because I looked so confused, and I guess I looked younger than the other people there, and I was like, yeah, it's my first time voting. And she like congratulated me. I got like a sticker, a little I'm forgetting, like a badge thing as well, and everyone applauded me while I was leaving, and I was like, you know what, this is a nice experience. It was really quick and it was fast, and I felt like because it's during COVID as well, I feel like they were adhering to the COVID guidelines as well really nicely, so I felt safe as well. I think my first line of advice for anyone who's new to voting is definitely to go with someone. Like I went with my parents the first time, but even like next time, if I were to vote for in the federal elections, I would definitely like bring a friend along with me. I just think it's nice to have like a support system there in case you're like confused when you're there. But also the election workers there are also quite nice, so they can help you out as well. But also I think I'd recommend for any first time voter is to actually sit down and kind of go over all the candidates, because I remember the first time that I went, I knew a handful of names, but even then I was kind of surprised with like how many times I was having to like check mark people's names, and a lot of these people I didn't know, and I felt bad for just like the day of kind of like guessing, okay, I'm just gonna go with this person's name. It's not the best way to do it, and it's not the best way to make use of your vote. Obviously I can't dictate how other people want to use their vote. They're well within their right to vote for someone or not vote at all. But I would recommend that if you're taking the time and effort to go, well, then actually maybe research about different candidates. Perhaps there's people just like you who are running around your age group, fighting for causes that you are passionate about. And so definitely research beforehand and perhaps go with someone. Just make the whole experience a bit more enjoyable as well. But it doesn't take that much time though, in my experience. I think for me, voting is definitely something that I feel empowered about. I feel like growing up, you hear about things going on in Canada, you learn about different issues within Canada that I feel so strongly about and passionate about, but you can't really do anything about it. And then you hit 18 years old, and finally, now you kind of have that power where I can elect someone, right? And oftentimes we like to think that our vote doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but off some of these elections, it's just like only by 100 votes or something. So absolutely, your vote does matter. And for me, again, like I want to be able to practice my constitutional right, regardless of whether my one vote is making the huge difference. I like to know that like I took the initiative to vote for someone who I feel like represents what I'm feeling and what I'm passionate about.